And we'll take some sports stories there, how we neutralize the same. Fenerbahce coach said that. Southampton coach boosts for Aribo. World Cup Ancelotti wants Vincitos. All right, Marcus wins made in TYB Lady Captains Co-op. They're ready to host NDDC Sport Festival. That's coming from Ekwebolo. And angry fans attack Mofi in France. Those are some of the stories that made the headline from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Over to you, Victor.
All right, on the Guardian newspaper, we have less interesting stories on the front page. Mba presents 1.62 trillion naira budget, louds Tinubu's economic policies. And that story continues on to page 25. We have a chaotic Yuletide travels loom as 15 airlines face 65% capacity dip. And that's on page 6. We have this one also on that same page. PDP deepens purge, issues expulsion certificates to Wike, Fayoshe, Anyanwu, and others. And yeah, we have this one. Reps probe missing 30 billion naira in SEPA fund, demand resumption of programs. You find more of that on page 3. On page 3, also, we have Tinubu meets security chiefs, nominates ex-CDS Musa as defense minister. On page 16, contractors protest, disrupt ministry's activities over 760 billion naira debt. All right, flipping into what we have on the inside pages for the Guardian newspaper this morning. The first one is on page 2, Panorama, it says, and we have this one. Food Bank targets 40 million Nigerians in hunger intervention. Trump owes DRC, Rwanda leaders to seal peace deal. And we have some more interesting parts of this page. Random facts, today's quotes, and today in history. You might want to read up on all of that. Well, on page 3 now, we have a story. Cyber criminals attack Nigeria as breaches hit 1,047% in the third quarter. Also, that's the one that says Nigeria loses 4.3 trillion naira in 8 years to beans export ban. On page 4 now, we have Emefiele's $4.5 billion fraud trial. EFCC witness denies Omoile made statements on that duress. Tinubu is saying Nigeria to begin manufacturing of aircraft components and projects aviation $2.55 billion revenue by 2029. Senate turns rowdy as Goje accuses Akpabio of private meetings during plenary. And on that same page, page 4, 2,500 children abducted in 10 years. That's a declaration from the SOS Children Villages. Federal government million naira and Bank of Industry, NCDMB, still backs on $100 million NCIF equity investment scheme. Akwa Ibom ranked Nigeria's cleanest state for 2025. Alex Otti meets Tinubu over Nnamdi Kanu's release. Okay, interesting ones on the metro section as well. On page 8, police arrest suspects, recover weapons in Delta. Experts urge retraining of police officers withdrawn from VIPs. And they say Lagos command in full force to act, says a PPRO. 75 killed, 28 kidnapped, 86 sexually abused in Bauchi. And Lagos deploys 229 special buses for a Lekki Ekpe bus reform scheme. All right, interesting one. Also, police nab 4 suspects, recover 2 stolen rifles in Rivers. And Babashei succeeds Odutola as Ogun PPRO. Continuing with Metro section on page 9, we have Group 6 end to digital violence against women in Cross River. Ubani to federal government, no security breakthrough without local government autonomy. Police move to protect 150 public schools infrastructures in Yobe. NRC comments court verdict on 2 vandals. And yeah, Sea Dogs partners NCC on prison decongestion in Ogun State. All right, flipping on to what we have in some older pages with interesting ones on pages 12 and 13, as well as 14, 15, all the way to the Guardian Business on page 16, where we have contractors protest, disrupt ministries' activities over 760 billion naira debt. Cost of living crisis lingers despite GDP growth, says CPPE. And crude oil, we have this one coming from the World Bank. Developing countries face worst debt drain in 50 years. That's a warning from the World Bank. We might just want to look up on that. Telecom sector shows resilience as GDP contribution rises to 9.1%. On page 17, Turkey, Egypt, others still participate in Quara Fair. And we have something also here. Nigeria launches culture meta index. Nigeria may lose growth momentum without support for women-led MSE. And on transport and tourism, how Nigeria's underutilized seafarers can support $1 trillion economic target. And yeah, still on transport and tourism on page 19, Nigeria's IMO comeback set stage for deeper maritime reforms. Okay, we have this one on energy and solid minerals on page 21. Nigeria needs 3 years to scale decentralized electricity. And Octon says AI will revolutionize oil and gas trading. Okay, flipping on to Guardian Tech on page 22. Our rising competition spiked 9.8% subscription growth. And we see this one, STEM exhibition connects young innovators with mentors and industry. And yes, on page 23, ITU members set 4-year plan to connect 2.2 billion offline people. And now moving on to what we have on page 29, which is the biggest one from last night. Morocco 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, Ekong Osimhen, 53 orders make Super Eagles provisional list. And FIFA says the clubs can hold on to players till December 15. We have the Adova and Ball Premier League, Niger United, Imo Grasshoppers excel, Defender Babes lose. And yes, Wider accepts U6 challenge for 2026 title fight. And yes, it's a list of today's matches right there. Talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League, where Rivers United and Kano Pillars will lock ons, and 3SC are up against Remo Stars in Ibadan. Well, that's as much as we can take on the newspaper review for this morning. We'll go on for the weather report and we'll return right after.
transfer.
Now money point, Oga.
No worries, F go make am. Mo go buy more.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money points.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
Welcome back. It's still AM120 on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Of course, we're in our interview segment this morning, and we're looking at what we call health workers nationwide strike. That's what we're looking at this morning. And to do justice to the conversation, we have our guest here, Comrade Oladayo Olabangpe. You're welcome to the program this morning. He's the chairman, Joint Health Sector Union, JSU UCH Chapter Ibadan. You're welcome once again.
Thank you, Ma.
All right, the Joint Health Sector Union and the Assembly of Healthcare Professionals Association have declared an indefinite nationwide strike, accusing the federal government of a prolonged delay and neglect of 12-year demand for the adjustment of the consolidated health salary structure. Of course, the decision was announced at the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria last month, a national secretariat in Abuja, following what the union described as unanimous resolution for their expanded National Executive Council meeting. Of course, in that statement signed at that time, Comrade Kabiru Ado Mini Jibiri, the union said the strike became necessary to notify members across all health institutions, as well as the general public, of an escalating trade dispute with the government. All right, let's look at the conversation this morning. This declaration was in November. And fortunately, unfortunately, we're still where we are. Now tell us, why did your group, your union, had to wait for 12 years to call for this adjustment over and over again?
Thank you. And thank you, viewers at home. When you said wait, waiting does not mean keeping quiet. And you know, in unionism, it's not just to come out and say we're going on strike. It's only that it's when we go on strike that you get to know that we have agitations. But before then, a lot have gone out. You know, we have processes of dialogue, negotiations, everything. And to be candid with you, since 2014, we've done a lot. Then this is not the first time we're going on strike. Not so long after this current president assumed office, we embarked on a strike. And thankfully enough, the President Bola Tinubu, held a meeting with us, sat down with us in person. And we so much appreciate this. Appealed to us that we should sheath our sword, suspend the strike. He promised to address this situation. And we relied so much on this promise, and we suspended the strike. But we are still where we are, and that is part of the issues on ground. That's the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria promised to look into our situation, and we respected his office and we suspended the strike, but nothing was done. So a lot of negotiations, discussions here and there, in fact, to the point that as we speak, all we are expecting is implementation of memoranda of understanding.
All right, from what we see here, some of your demands include that full implementation of the CONES, that's the Consolidated Health Salary Structure, amongst other things. Now, a lot of people do not exactly understand your agitations now, and they're wondering why this is ongoing. But how can you make it clear to people that what you're fighting for will also benefit them directly or indirectly?
Okay, thank you. When you said the full implementation of CONES, here I have to explain that. When we started this strike, we started at the federal government institutions level. CONES is being handed all over all health institutions in Nigeria. But the state governments is up to employees that are in the hospitals.
Can we talk about what CONES is so that people at home can understand?
Okay. The CONES is the salary structure in the health sector. We have two salary structures. And I have to say that this is where the issue started from. We all work in the same sector. We all work on the same patient, but the government came up with two different salary structures.
Which government?
The federal government. It came up with CONMES. CONMES is Consolidated Medical Salary Scheme for the physicians. Then CONHES for the, that is Consolidated Health Salary Scheme for all other staff, all other professionals, all other even non-professionals. And now when this salary scale came up, there was an agreement when the salary scale was negotiated for. And the simple agreement is that since those who earn these two salary scales are working in the same sector, whatever is done to one of the salary scales should be done to the other. We're not talking about equity here. We are not talking about equality here. We are talking about equity. You are earning 100,000 naira per month. If your salary is doubled, it becomes 200. If I'm earning 80,000, mine too should be doubled, and it will become 160. That is the simple principle upon which the two salary structures are based. But now, the main and the only demand of JOESU, Joint Health Sector Union, in the health sector now is that CONMES from 2014 till now was adjusted upward 3 times. And since that 2014, we've been saying, based on agreement, what it was done to CONMES should be done to CONHES. And the government has been dilly-dallying, giving excuses. At times they say it's the politicians that are using us. At times they say this is not the right time, we will do it. They've even entered into agreements with us, but just to implement.
Okay, let me quickly ask you. Has it not crossed your mind that maybe the reason why theirs was increased or maybe because of the kind of job, the duties that they engage in? But let's go on this break. When we come back, we're going to look at, the conversation and maybe why it is happening. Stay with us, don't go away. We're going on a commercial break.
What wakes you up in the morning? Is it the sunrise? Is it the alarm? No. It's your dream that wakes you every day. It's what drives you like a powerful engine. That's why you start strong every day with a rich, creamy taste of Nescafe Original 3-in-1, carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. You are on your hustle, and you won't stop until you succeed. Start strong, finish strong.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on, malaria gone.
Natural sun-ripened yellow corn. Individually whole flaked to preserve its natural goodness. That's what makes Nasco cornflakes truly whole flaked.
All right, welcome back. It's still AM120. And of course, before we went on that break, of course, a comrade Ola Bankpe, I was speaking and I interjected by saying, look, has it not crossed your mind that maybe the kind of duty, that they're saddled with, maybe that's the reason why they feel that, look, they're doing so much and deserve to be paid, higher. Has it crossed your mind? Have you checked to also look at that?
Thank you. The first thing I want you to realize is that it's not only in Nigeria that health care is being practiced. So there are standards everywhere. And there's what we call relativity. And that is well understood and well respected. And it is never because of nature of job. It is, in most cases, about what you are putting in terms of the period you spent in studying when you were in school. And now, let's look at this. The federal government, they have done the right thing. In year 2008, they did what is called job evaluation. By job evaluation, they will be able to know what exactly do you put in. What's your nature of job? What have you done? What do you face? Excuse me. And that, your insinuation will have been addressed by that. And the result of that job evaluation shows that a lot of other professionals in the health sector put in more than some physicians. Some physicians also put in more than some other professionals. How do I mean? We have varieties of physicians. We have those that work on, surgery, perform surgery. We have those that sit in the office. You can't compare their
Those that sit also attend to patients.
Do.
The outpatient. Maybe emergency.
Yes. I'm telling you that you can't compare the two. I've not said they don't attend to patients. And now, the public understanding of the medical practice is what is affecting us. How do I mean? When you see every professional in the health sector, you quickly conclude, doctor. Someone will leave his house, go and attend a consultation with a dietitian. You sit down in front of a dietitian. The dietitian will look at you. What's your case like? Okay, I'm diabetic. Okay, what have you been eating? What should you eat? What should you not eat? And go home from there. You get home, you say, my doctor has said I should not eat this. I should eat this. That is our understanding. A lot of people come home to attend physiotherapy clinic and go back home. Will say, I've gone to see my doctor. So when you are saying doctor in Nigerian context, it encompasses every one of us professionals. So now, look at it, for example, when you talk of job hazard. I am a medical laboratory scientist. I sit down in the lab to perform medical tests. So when you talk of hazard allowance, I believe I should hand the highest hazard allowance. How do I mean? A patient will go to the physician, will clerk the patient as, okay, I have this injury, this wound, which has refused to heal. What do I do? Send him to my lab. In my lab, it will send I'm trying to come to everybody's level. Use something like a cotton board to take some fluid from the wound, send it to me in the lab. When it gets to me in the lab, it wants to know the organism that is responsible for that is making the wound not to heal up. When it gets to me in the lab, what I will do is what you call culture, like a farmer plants. I will plant that microorganism so that it will multiply in millions. Now, he has just used a swab to take the sample, sent it to me. Now I received it, I multiplied the risk. I'm facing the risk all alone in an enclosed laboratory. Tell me who is facing more hazard. So those are what, there are some people that walk behind the scene that people don't see. And by the time I might have done that, I will I will see the organism causing this infection in millions, expose them to various antibiotics. I will recommend to the doctor this antibiotic will heal the wound. The patient will take it back to the doctor, and the doctor will just look at my result and say, go and use this. If he has been using a wrong drug before, say, stop this, use this. And the patient will take the drug and will be okay and will say, my physician has done it. He hasn't done it. He has not done it alone.
So you feel that the glory should have gone back to the laboratories who actually did the test and was able to
share the glory.
Share the glory. So how come the glory
and
is
I
not
should
shared?
take the larger part.
So how come the glory? How have you all? Because I'm not going to, exclude your sector or your unit. But how come you all sat and did not see from time immemorial that the glory should have been shared?
No, we see, and that is why we have never kept quiet. But by the time we come out with a strike like this, that is the only time you get to recognize our voices. We've done a lot of advocacy. We've done a lot of negotiations and the like. But it's when we come out that you think we are just starting to talk. No, that is not how things are done. You don't come out and say, I'm going on strike. It's after you have exhausted every other.
Tell us, what are the category? Can you mention the professionals in the categories of the CONHENS? Can we know them? Can you mention them?
Okay. Like I said, I am a medical laboratory scientist. I'm one of them. We have the physiotherapists. We have the pharmacists, dietitians, radiographers, optometrists, all healthcare professionals. Anyone else you can mention, we have the nurses. After the physician might have visited the hospital, checked on the patient, and might have left, the nurses are there carrying the poo, carrying the wheel, carrying everything, taking holistic care of the patients. Are you saying they are not putting in enough? They are the ones that will sleep with the patients and wake up with the patients. So a lot of people are doing a lot. So then it's not even limited to the health professionals. We have professionals from other fields who also make their own contributions, and their contributions are very important. We have the administrators, we have the accountants, we even have lawyers, and it's a system, and everything works together. It's a tech care, it's a team work, and everything is important. Up to the cleaners, the ward mates, we are all important and should be seen as such. And I repeat, nobody is looking for equality, but equity.
All right, Comrade Olabankpina, you are here on behalf of JOHESU, that's the Joint Health Sector Union, and you know, you're fighting the cause of Joesu, not just for a part of it. So let's talk about the records ever since we had that negotiation. Has there been any improvement, any sign of progress, any, you know, things that you think, okay, we had this MOU from when we first sat to discuss either the conmess or the conhairs or whatever it is that we've spoken about, and these are some of the things that I think have been activated. These are the things that I think they have done, but maybe they have not fulfilled that part, but these ones, they have done some of those things.
Well, I won't say this now. They have set out to carry out a fresh job evaluation. Well, this is not okay, but it's still better. Because we know, we are confident of what we put in the health sector. Okay, you want to
trust, you know, in the health sector as it stands, because they believe you're striking today, tomorrow there's a strike action, amongst other things, and for them it disrupts their medical management when it comes to treatment and all other things. How do we ensure that people understand the plight of the health workers themselves? How do we make them understand that what you're fighting for will indirectly, you know, lead to them being better managed right there, wherever they are, whatever they are coming to the hospitals with?
Thank you. I will advise you to go to the entrance of UCH on the morning of any working day. You see staff preparing, trekking to work.
Why trekking?
That is the situation. That is the condition we met ourselves.
How? Can you
because
explain?
A lot of people that maybe had car could not even afford to fuel it, and they've left them at home. Some at the middle of the month at most, they've exhausted their pay. They can't even afford the transport fare. That is the situation, and I want you to investigate it. And when we have this kind of situation, I am to manage your health. There's no way I can perform optimally. The Yoruba people will say, it is when I'm well taken care of that I can take good care of you. If I'm not okay socially, psychologically, emotionally, there's no way I will be able to pay 100% attention to my patient. Go to WHO definition of health. It is not just the mere absence of illness. When you are whole and all ramification. So a lot of staff in the health sector are not enjoying their lives at all. A lot cannot even afford to pay their rent any longer. A lot cannot afford to come to work. Those who manage to buy rickety cars among us are to get loan. I know of people who are on 4, 5, 6, 7 different loans. Some, their salary cannot even pay their loans. Talk of they maybe taking care of themselves. This cuts across everyone, even those that you may think are more than others.
Let's bear in mind.
Cuts across.
Comrade, let's bear in mind that we're talking about the patients here, people who are suffering from one form of ailment.
So we shouldn't talk about us?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying at this point in time, we also have to consider them and look at how do we better manage them. Are there moves being made? Are we exploring options, alternatives that can actually ensure that we are not losing these people? Because as much as we like it, this might be the future of the country. These are also people who contribute to the society. You might have one of them who would help contribute to the cost that you are fighting. But let's go on this commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about exploring other options as regarding this nationwide strike.
Supermalt Multivitamin Junior.
All right, welcome back. We're still talking about the health workers nationwide strike with Comrade Oladayo Olabankwe, who is the chairman, the Joint Health Sector Union, Joesu, GCH chapter Ibadan. And I asked him, if we are exploring other options to ensure that our patients are better managed while the strike is ongoing, so we don't just neglect them.
Thank you, sir. Like I've said in the beginning, you don't end with other options. Strike should be the last resort. So we have been exploring other options since 2014. So you don't go to other options after strike. You start with other options, negotiations, and the like. So it is, you know, there's, in fact, besides any health care.
Please don't use that on the live program. Please.
Okay, but it is just true. Maybe I should be milder that God will not be happy with any health care staff who is happy to go on strike. Okay. But it always becomes the last resort. Okay. And when you say we should consider people, we are the people are us. And I was trying to let you know that we too have become patients now. Okay, by the kind of lifestyle we live now.
Let's look at the implication of the ongoing industrial action. Can we look at it? What's the implication?
The implication is that it will be difficult to get healthcare attention from the hospital. And we just pray that this will not linger beyond now. It's just that we love our patients and we don't want to abandon them. But, you know, when you are left with no other option, you just have to, it's just unfortunate that strike is the only language that the government understands. And until you speak it, they don't seem to shake body. And we just believe this will not linger for too long.
Okay, you mentioned earlier when this conversation started that you relied on the promise of the president. And up till now, that promise has not been fulfilled. Why do you think that promise is yet to come to reality?
I don't know why. I just don't know why.
Have you tried to investigate? Because whether we like it or not, colleagues of yours who are civil servants, I mean, some of them are in the Ministry of Health. So somehow, there should be information available to your members or to some of your leaders as to why this implementation. It's an MOU. I mean, implementation has been signed, and this is 12 years after.
Okay. Maybe when we have information, we'll let you know. But to the best of my knowledge, a lot of things that happen in Nigeria, the ones you can explain are fewer than the ones you cannot. The more you look, the less you see. And the less you look, the more you see. That's how it is in Nigeria as we speak.
Okay, now let's also look at it. Resident doctors, of course, the strike was said to have been suspended. But so let's look at when medical experts go on strike. I was asking about implications earlier. And you just said, oh, I hope that it does not extend for too long. Yes, but even if it goes on for 2 days, we know the number of lives that will be lost. Many emergency cases will come into the hospital, nobody to run tests, nobody to do anything for them, and we may continue to count our casualties. Are there measures in place to ensure that even while this strike is on, we don't lose lives? Or are we just saying we're going on strike and then we keep losing lives?
Where the measure starts from is that we don't rush into strike like that. We try to explore other options. But when we are pushed into going on strike, we also believe there are other markets.
No, I'm not saying, of course, they're not on 80,000. Of course, they're not on 80,000. Yes. You would agree with me. But to be trekking to the office every day, I mean, does not make it. It makes it look like an average medical expert is wretched. And that's the picture we keep seeing from your sector.
If there's a very more serious word than being wretched, you are free to use it, because that is our situation.
No, that's not the situation.
It is. I've challenged you the other time to investigate it.
No, you don't
do
even
investigative journalism.
You don't even look like someone who is in that category.
You expected me to come here in rags so that
that's
you
not the
be
point.
Convinced?
No, that's not the point. The point is, I mean, let's have a reality check. Okay. Yes, we need more to come into the medical sector, for the professionals to appreciate their effort, and of course to ensure they earn what they deserve. But to make it look like, I mean, an average medical expert, I mean, are you saying that what you earn is better than what some teachers earn? Some people earn that 80,000 and they still live. Yes, they're struggling, but they're not in penury.
See, everyone will speak for himself. Are you saying the teachers are living fine? Bring them here, let them come and talk. When you can't afford to pay rent, you can't do things for your family, you can't pay your children's school fee. Remember, these people you say hand fat or whatever you are saying about it. We have to pay children's school fee, 1, 2, or 3 children. Everything has skyrocketed now. They will feed their families. They will pay rent. They will pay this bill and that bill. And everything kept going up, including tax here and there. So you just talk about what people earn. We pay tax that is above 10% of our earnings.
Why are you paying more than 10% tax?
I can confirm this to you. We pay our tax is above 10%.
But these are issues that should have been raised.
Well, it has been raised times over
so you
times.
Should, by now you should know why more than 10% is. I mean, maybe you don't have dependents. These are facts that make tax, you know, at a level that.
How won't we have dependents?
Then if you have dependents, you should
we don't have
query
children. Our taxes are above 10%. This is
query
no
this.
exaggeration. It's a matter of facts and figures.
What have you done to see that this tax that is being increased, what have you done to ensure that this is reversed?
We've done a lot, but we have a government deaf and dumb. We've made advocacies.
I'm sorry, you please retract. Don't call government deaf and dumb.
Okay, government is not deaf and dumb, but they've turned a deaf ear to our yearnings.
Okay. Of course, let's look at, so how long do you think this strike would last?
It will last as long as the government has not responded
indefinitely?
to. That's what we called it. It's indefinite, but we'd love to end it today if the government is yielding. We are not happy to be on strike.
Do you think with NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, adding their voice of support to your cause, do you think this might spike a wider labor unrest across the country?
Well, I'm not thinking about labor unrest because that's not the desired result. What we desire is their coming in will make the government to listen and do the needful. We are not praying for unrest, and we never have unrest in the country.
Now, you've mentioned a lot of things today, and it seems like you feel like the health sector is under prioritized by the government. You're not given the needed attention. So what active steps do you think the presidency, the federal government, the administrators should be putting in place to ensure that the health sector is being well managed, at least within the next 2 years, thereabouts?
Thank you. See, there are 2 apartments beside each other. You are occupying one with your children. And in the morning, nothing's cooking in the kitchen. In the afternoon, there's nothing. The children are smelling fried rice from the other apartments. And you are insisting they should not go anywhere.
Are you saying that?
You are just joking.
Are you saying that's the reason for the jackpot syndrome?
That is what is happening.
But you just told us that 3 times since your group had been asking for that increment. The physicians, have been getting increments 3 times back to back.
But remember,
has that stopped some of them moving abroad?
Remember, I still told you that even our penury still it spreads across. It involves every one of us.
Yorubas.
So whatever might have done is just a peanut compared to what needs to be done. When I was giving the analogy of 2 apartments, let's try and do something close to what we run to meet outside the country.
No. Let's not compare ourselves.
We just have to.
You know why we will not? That means you want to begin to compare Nigeria with the kind of economy, with the kind of standard, with the developed nations. Is that what you're doing?
Yes,
and we're not close to developing.
Yes, because when we talk about how we handle our patients, what we do, we love to compare and say.
Do you give that much to your patients?
We love to, but the facilities to do so are not available.
All right, of course.
Where are the facilities? That is part of what the government should do.
Okay.
But if I don't want to be critical about it, the interest of those who serve the patients is of paramount importance.
Okay, we want to say a big thank you to you, Comrade Oladayo Olabangpe, the Chairman, Joint Health Sector Union, JSU. UCH chapter, Ibadan. Thank you very much for coming on the program this morning. We sincerely appreciate you for sharing with us information and, of course, telling us how the health sector can move forward. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you. All right, we'll go on a break, and when we come back, our second guest will be here. Stay with us. Don't go away.
energy. Give them Billow at breakfast.
It has nutrients that support energy release to help champs get the most out of their active days.
Welcome back right here. And yes, that means that our conversation is shifting this morning. We are still talking about issues affecting the country, Nigeria, our beloved nation. And yes, the switch takes us to the nomination of Christopher Musa as the new defense minister. We have a security scholar who is right here to actually discuss this, development with us in person of Dr. Shola Ishola. You're welcome this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Now, was it about 2 days ago where people saw the ex-CDS Musa, leaving the presidential villa? There were a lot of rumors growing, and then we saw the dropping of the defense minister. What are your first thoughts? What was the first thing that struck you when you saw that sequence of events and now this development?
Thank you very much. I think the sequence of events, is not accidental. I think it's part of the deliberate plan to address the security situation in our country. Don't forget that already the president has declared a state of emergency on the security situation in Nigeria. And I think we are beginning to see some of the casualties that is likely to continue in order to clean the stable in the security sector of our country. Of course, the president as a politician has been put under pressure, that the whole sector, the whole security sector has been politicized, and he has to do the needful in order to put the sector back in place. And I believe this is, what he's trying to do by putting some round peg in the round hole, and by ensuring that the professionals are right there managing the security situation right from the top to down. And he, as a politician, is just to oversee what they're trying to do. I believe this is what the president is trying to do as it is. Don't forget that the U.S. is still breathing down our neck on our security situation. And, normally a president will also want to stand up to whatever, it is the challenge. And he wouldn't want, to the whole thing to crash on his head. I think this is what we are witnessing now.
Okay, I'd like to take you through this quickly. Of course, upon that decision, you'd agree with me that the immediate past defense minister resigned on Monday.
Yeah, that was what we were told.
Yes, I wanted us to dissect it. Would he have naturally resigned?
Well, I wouldn't know.
Was he advised to resign? Did the situation, because he's unlike any Nigerian, or African, to resign in the face of, one would have expected him to put in more effort.
Well, there's nothing wrong in resignation, and it should not be strange. It's something that we should, embrace. If you think that your capacity is not, carrying you in a particular position, it's better to step aside and let other people do it. But I think in this situation, the issue of, making excuses about health is about giving the minister a soft landing. Because under his watch in the last 2 years, the security situation has worsened. So, of course, the president will also want to, engage other individuals who he thinks is capable. And he cannot just say, go, he cannot just, so he has to give whoever soft landing. That's my own view about the situation.
Okay, I'd like us to look at the antecedent of this new defense minister. Is very important for us to be able to, chart a course forward. Of course, General Musa, 58 years old. Of course, by December 25, he'll be 58. A distinguished soldier who served as chief of defense. I beg your pardon. I'd like to take us through this. Okay, he served as chief defense staff from 2023 until October 2025. He won the Colin Pearl Award of Soldiering in 2012. Born in Sokoto in 1967, General Musa received his primary and secondary education there before attending the College of Advanced Studies in Zaire State. I'll jump all that. Of course, he had a bachelor's degree in science degree upon graduation in 1991. General Musa was commissioned into the Nigerian Army as a second lieutenant in 1991, and he's since distinguished in his career. His appointment includes, that's where I'm going, General Staff Officer 1, Training Operations at the Headquarters 81 Division, beg your pardon, Commanding Officer, 73 Battalion Assistant, Director, Operational Requirement, Department of Army Policy and Plans, and the Infantry Representative Member, Training Team, Headquarter Nigerian Army Corps. In 2019, he served as a Deputy Chief of Staff, Training Operations, Headquarter Infantry Center, and Corps Commander, Sector 3, Operation Lafayette Dole, and Commander Sector 3, Multinational Joint Task Force in Lake Chad region. I want to stop here and let's look at some of the things he has done. Because in the coming days, we'll be looking at what he's able to achieve. A lot of times when some of our soldiers, military men are doing fantastically well, and they give them an opportunity, appointment to also lead, they become like they couldn't handle things. What do we think is wrong? Because, I mean, this is someone who earned national, international awards and has been holding national position. I mean, Operation Lafayette Dole is doing fantastically well. Under his watch, they did so well. And of course, other ones. So let's look at it. What's wrong?
In the first instance, I don't agree that whenever we put our military men in position, they don't perform. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There are even contemporary examples. I mean, look at what General Marwa is doing in drug enforcement.
Exceptional ones?
No, I can cite any example. Anyway, General Musa is a fantastic soldier, a thoroughbred professional. Incidentally, he was our guest in UI last week, and we discussed all these issues. We never knew that he was, going to be appointed.
Wow.
But when he was the chief of defense staff, I think he made some impact on the armed forces of this country. But of course, because of political circumstances and the rest, and of course, the armed forces is now subjected to the control of the politicians. So a lot of issues came up that prevented some of generals from doing what they would have wanted to do, political interest, and of course support of some individuals for the terrorists and the bandits. And I don't know why the government does not still have the courage to expose them. But I think we are beginning to see, a turnaround, even with the resignation of the Minister of Defense. I'm also looking forward to the resignation of his junior minister, because that one is
state.
Yes, the Minister of State. Yes, Matawale. I'm definitely looking.
And you think that's going to really happen?
It could happen.
Cold.
Yes, it could happen.
By your experience?
It could happen, for whatever reason. But I don't wish that it happens now. I wish that it happens when General Musa is stabilized, then.
And talking about that, Doctor, now let's look at some of the potential issues that might arise, given what we have right now. A lot of people fear that it won't be able to balance.
Presently, it doesn't come up. What is most important is to put an end to the war against, against insecurity. Okay, so all of those permutations are just there, But the only headache I think he might face initially is in terms of political pressure. But I believe that is one of the reasons why the president is putting him there. He's not he's not expected to subject to political pressure. He's supposed to do his work as a professional and do it professionally, and then the president is supposed to support whatever initiative is making. Okay. And I'm happy that it's not the politicians that he can say, okay, maybe because his constituents are being affected, but no. If anything is happening in any part of Nigeria, it's expected to make move soldiers there and do the job, and they'll finish.
Okay, Doctor, now let's look at the timeline. We are in a very dire situation that we need something to work as fast as possible. Do you think, what timeline do you think we should be looking at to see maybe early signs of changes? And what type of things do you think are the benchmarks that you think we should be looking forward to say, okay, yeah, this is a good change that we are looking for?
Yeah, in the first instance, the president's objective is very apparent. He's targeting 2027, that there should be some elements of stability before he says he wants to contest for the second term. But I think, a lot of success can be achieved within 6 months. Yes, because it's not a fight that is just starting, And he himself is an experienced person, for even go to 10 years. Now, Nigeria has not been fighting any other war except against internal, insecurity. And, most of our soldiers are now even being retrained, to tackle, internal insecurity. But we have also witnessed a lot of sabotage, and a lot of things that one wouldn't have been expected, that has aided the terrorists to be staying for that long. So within 6 months, I believe we should be seeing some impact.
Is sabotage and intelligence one of the areas we will start seeing those changes within the first 6 months?
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's what I believe. Because if you notice the trend now, it's like some people are really out to embarrass the president, especially with the intervention of the U.S. Why is it now that kidnapping of school children, of girls and people in the community are now jumping up? Not only in the Northeast, but even in the Northwest and in the middle belt this time around. So you know that these are not foreign influence again. This is not about only ISWAP or people coming from the Sahel, and harassing us. There are internal issues. I mean, look at the kidnapping of those girls. You know that it's not being done by any foreign terrorist. It's been done by Nigerians. And those who did it are actually, within. And that is why the military itself is not quick to say that they have eliminated this total number of terrorists in order to rescue the children or whatever. They are people within us. So we need to work within ourselves and in our communities.
Doctor, let's quickly go on a commercial break. When we come back, of course, I have other questions to ask you as regards the president moves. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on Malaria Gone.
Bible.
Victor, even you, they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
All right, welcome back. It's still AM120, and we still have with us Dr. Shola Ishola, who is a security scholar at the Premier University, University of Ibadan. And of course, we're looking at nomination of Christopher Musa as new defense minister. That's what we're looking at. All right, before we went on that break, I was going to ask, the president has been making a lot of moves. Maybe because of the call of the U.S. government. Maybe because he really wanted to tackle security. But do you think all of this that he's doing will yield positive results in the nearest possible time?
Yes, of course, I think it will yield. I mean, like I was saying before we went on break, it is very, very clear that the current situation, the current internal security situation that we're having is not about foreign intervention. They are interventions, they are activities of people within us, people that will live together in our community. I mean, look at the example of the girls that were eventually rescued recently. You know, the guards that were operating close by left, and within less than an hour, the girls were kidnapped. And information that got to me was actually that some of those guys actually absconded. There must be a reason for that.
Because I was going to ask when some of these issues came up.
Yes.
Now, so imagine we're all here, we're about 50 in this place. We have an entry, we have an exit door. And you hear gunshot, God forbid, from the gate. We'll all scamper for safety. But when they say some of these girls were kidnapped, sometimes it looks to me like, okay, was it that they saw that they were coming and they all decided to come and make themselves available?
Not only that, look at those that were kidnapped in the churches. You know that people don't just come from anywhere without knowing the environment.
The terrain.
The terrain. How did they know when the church was holding a night vigil? It must have, the information must have been provided by some insiders, okay? And now it is very clear that all of these insecurity situations are also linked with natural resources.
Exactly.
So that's why I think one of the moves that are being made, especially by the northern governors, to suspend the exploitation of natural resources, will also bring some sanity in that environment, especially in Zamfara, Kebbi, and that areas.
When it comes to the issue of security and natural resources exploration, it seems like government is not in charge.
It is not that government is not in charge, but there are some powerful influence that are benefiting from the situation. Yes, that's
bigger than government.
I say powerful influence.
That's what I'm saying. They're bigger than government. Or is it government itself?
The powerful influence can influence anybody. They can influence government. They can even influence the military.
And they watch their people die.
But these people are so selfish. It is only their interest that matters, as far as they are concerned. They only exploit the confusion to continue to benefit by exploiting the natural resources that they are interested in. That is exactly what is happening. And, you cannot also separate American interests from those natural resources. Everybody knows that Trump will always want to make a deal where it is available. So you cannot separate what is happening.
I keep wondering, the love between Trump, sudden love, and Nigeria, it baffles me.
That is it. Because a lot of exploitations are happening, with the confusion, with the insecurity situation, covering up all of those exploitation. And, according to the Americans, China is benefiting a lot from that. And they will also want to have a piece of the cake, okay? And of course, without those powerful interests, China cannot just be coming in and taking away those natural resources. So some elements are benefiting from the confusion, and it is only an apolitical individual that can tackle the situation without any influence.
Like General Musa.
Doctor, now let's look at this. We already understand that our security issues have regional, international implications. And you just mentioned the US, the China benefiting. If we had to stop this and, go way past the challenges of the powerful influencers like you used, are you sure we will not be straining international relationships?
Well, of course, we'll be strained international relationship, but there's actually nothing bad as long as we are protecting our interests.
Definitely.
And we are protecting our people. So, and it's only a leader who does not care for his country and who is not deserved of being in power that will continue to open his eyes and see all of these confusions taking place. You know, how I wish that all of these things are taking place during the second term of President Tinubu, because it is then that I can be sure that he can do the job thoroughly. But now he's doing it, but on the side he's looking at the second term and how all of these things can be transformed to vote for him.
That speaks to political will. That speaks to political will to see the people be protected, the Nigeria safe and secure. I remember when he was ex-president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who was in power, and he was running for presidency again, and he lost, and he said his ambition was not what more than the lives of many Nigerians. We still need to talk about political will to see things get done. Maybe it might turn things in his favor if he goes thoroughly on it and people feel, okay, yeah, this man has been able to conquer this challenge and this is the most important of all.
But incidentally, the election did not favor him at that time. And that was what he was actually, trying to avoid. But, it's just that Goodluck Jonathan is an exceptional human being who has a soft heart. But those of his rivals, you remember what they did, which we are still suffering, until now. His rival went abroad to bring, criminals as mercenaries and settle them down, saying that if, perchance they lost the election, they were going to unleash those individuals on Nigeria. And when they didn't, lose the election, those individuals are the ones that are terrorizing us now. They are the ones that are in the bushes,
Okay, Dr. Ishola, I'd like us to look at it. While you were speaking earlier, you were talking about maybe the governors would put a hold to mining in some of their states. And that took me to look at what do we generate annually from the mining sector. Because again, when we put a stop to it, we have to also look at it. Some of these states, that's the revenue generation, because a lot of Nigerians in many states complain that they are not generating revenue. And this seems to be like the only revenue they generate. So let me take you through this. Nigeria's annual mining revenue is still relatively low. Though it's growing, recent figures shows that the sector contributed 38 billion naira in 2024 and 193.59 billion in 2021, with 2024 showing a significant increase from the previous year, while the sector's GDP continued to contribution is reported to be 1.39 trillion in 2024.